Okay, in the next 10 years, I want to see myself owning a bank, and that my bank will be Kingsway Bank by the grace of God. Now I bear Kingsway Enterprises. In the next 10 years, I want to see myself owning branches. First of all, I own it in Abuja. Secondly, is in my town, my state where I'm coming from, Enugu. Thirdly, maybe Nasarawa State because that is where I got my ND, then HND Kogi State by the grace of God. I want to see my employ a lot of youth in the nearest future. I want to be my name to be held like that of Aliko Dangote and the rest.
For lots of residents of the earth, there are fears of what may happen at the time, but these have in no way down the dream of what. Oh,
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
But I felt it was important to be here this morning because this is such an important program to do with the issue of housing. I want to commend the organizers. I want to commend also the participants who have been keeping this going now for, this is 10th year.
My starting point in this intervention is to acknowledge the tenacity, the vision, and the commitment of FESADEB Communications Limited, the organizers of this event.
This being put together by this organization, the entire affair, I hear as a matter of fact, is the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. And I want to sincerely congratulate you very much on that signal achievement.
FESADEB Communications Limited has taken a pioneer step, which is the most important regarding the challenges that we debate here today.
I believe my presence here with my colleagues is to let you know that the Senate and National Assembly, the member also of the House of Representatives, believe very strongly that we must make a difference in the housing sector.
My name is Biola Akiola.
My name is Miriam Lawa from Macro Homes Nigeria Limited.
Hey people, this is Town Planner Bello Oluwayinka.
My name is Akintoye Adeoye, the incoming president of Redan.
Hello everyone, my name is Mayowa Okpedari. Keep watching Housing TV Africa.
Keep watching Housing TV Africa.
Keep watching Housing TV Africa.
Shout out to Housing TV Africa, channel 149.
Keep enjoying Housing TV Africa on channel 149 Star Times.
Keep watching Housing TV. If you want to know much about what is happening in the built environment, housing related, land related issues, this is the place to go.
They are the best.
Things to note when building a house. Use good building materials. In a bid to do a fast and cheap project, some builders are in the habit of using substandard materials without taking cognizance of the serious negative effects that this could have on the buildings. I urge you to please avoid the use of poor building materials, as you might end up suffering more than you bargained for when such buildings collapse. Foundation Challenge. It is common practice for building owners and developers to convert bungalows to story buildings. Usually, these people either ignore or are unaware of the fact that the foundation for a bungalow should not be used for a story building, as it was not designed for such excess load. Just as you cannot transport a trailer on a car, it would be disastrous for you to convert a bungalow to a story building, except the foundation was initially designed for multiple stories. Employ the services of professionals. To avoid collapse of buildings, employ the services of laborers and builders who are adequately skilled and can interpret the building design. This is one good reason for the importance of professional supervision in building construction. Nature of the soil. The nature and load-bearing capacity of the soil must be considered in a building design so as to produce a sufficient structural foundation for the building. Do you also know that the type of foundation made on dry lands is entirely different from that made on swampy areas? Lastly, ensure that building work is safe, durable, and does not endanger health, both for the current user of the building and to protect those who may buy and use the property in the future.
Frankly, it's one of two things. If I have the money, I'd actually like to pay. After all, I'm still going to pay when the time comes. Or if I don't have the money and I feel like you're trying to rob me of my rights, I actually think I would pursue that to the very last to actually make sure what is due to me I get, even if it means me leaving the house at the end of that tenure. But as it seems, I must actually pursue it through just to make sure, yes, I don't get cheated out of something. You can't come and make me vacate a place I actually paid for a certain length of span of time, and it's not time and you want to let me go or you want to force me to leave. So no, it's either I pay because I have the money and it's convenient for me, or I actually see it through that. Yes, I stay till when I'm supposed to stay. While
on the very good ground, the landlord himself does not have such right to put any tenant on such compulsion to pay the money. But what the landlord can do, if he can have a better understanding with the tenant, to say, okay, please, I have such need that I don't know if you can assist me for at least an advance of 1 year rent, and the tenant is willing, the tenant can do. But the condition of putting any tenant under compulsion to pay an advance payment when your rent has not expired, the landlord does not have that right.
Most of the time, the landlord depends on the rent they get. So sometimes they put pressure on tenants, and that's not too good. I do not really know what the law says about that, but I understand that there should be a concrete agreement between the tenant and the landlord, and then as to when you will pay your rent. So if that time has not elapsed, there's no reason why you should put pressure on your tenant. But sometimes maybe you can just discuss with your tenant out of compassion or understanding if he has money.
You know, we need to have it in the law that if you come to Nigeria, if you want to rent, you will do 6 months or you will do 1 year. We don't have it in it. If you go to US to rent house in US, it's either you do 1 month or you do 1 year. But in Nigeria, it's open. A situation when you open your house, criminals have right to go in and take whatever they want to take. So we have never, in my own view, we have never got a Senate that is working for the people. We only have business managers.
Talking about the landlord and tenant issue, especially when it comes to a situation whereby the tenant pay his or her rent and it has not expired yet, and landlords come to say you have to come and pay your rent in advance, 6 months or 1 year, so they start counting. Yes, I've had that experience in the past, and I tell you something, it's not really good, because that's what has brought a lot of rift between the landlord and tenant today. And again, I think there's something that needs to be done about it, because it has now led to so many things that the landlords, especially in Abuja today, that they are just doing, and it now makes it very difficult for a tenant to get even an accommodation in a very good place because of this condition that they put.
Well, I don't really encourage that. As a landlord, I'm also a landlord. I have tenants in my house, and I know 1 or 2 issues they face sometimes before they could meet up in paying 1 year. Now, in the case of 2 years, I find it so difficult because it is something that I wouldn't want someone to do to me, and I will find it so uncomfortable to impose it on my tenant.
It's a very bad situation in the country we find ourselves. There's supposed to be control over that, but we're in a country that do what you want because we don't have control. It's a normal thing, especially in the city of Abuja. It's a normal thing for them that a landlord will tell you to pay 2 years ahead. And apart from that, the agents, people are not making it easier for them. They are the one even causing it, increasing the rent. They are the one, because for their own benefit. It's a very bad situation.
For me, I don't think that is the best thing to do. You have an agreement, and it has a duration of which you paid that rent for. So until the duration of that payment expired, before you now think of another thing, that is when you can now say, okay, sir, I want you to pay me 1 year. If it is per annum, you say, okay, I want you to pay me for 1 year, but I have an issue. I don't know if you can understand with me to add another 6 months for me. I think that one would be much more honorable and much more acceptable. But for you to just come up because somebody is staying in your house, maybe because you see the person is doing well, and they just come up with any issue at any time. Please, I want you to give me 6 months, or I want you to borrow me money. I think that is not acceptable.
Any landlord that want to collect money before the tenant's money enwraps, maybe the landlord is in highly need of money. But if landlord want to collect another money in advance, the landlord supposed to, come with pleading, come, to his tenant to reason with him one-on-one, because the tenant still have the right as a citizen. But landlord cannot force the tenant to pack out until the money enwraps, because the tenant himself still has his right.
We don't have road. And you see, at times, if it is raining, you will see a lot of people will go by the roadside. They'll be thrown dirt on the main road. We also doesn't have toilet. You see a toilet, you still have to 30 tenants. They are using one. You can't leave your door open, go and buy something. Before you will know, Babambola will enter. By the time you will take them to police station, 1 hour is too much. The police people will release them. In fact, we don't know what is happening.
This is the situation with many citizens in not just Nigeria. Are we ready for this conversation? What is the plight of an average Nigerian citizen in regards to housing? Housing is a fundamental human right, and these issues must be addressed.
Kadokuchi, a settlement within Jahi, a community in the Federal Capital Territory. It is largely inhabited by civil servants, artisans, and petty traders. A visit to Kadokuchi revealed the untold hardship residents face given the absence of basic amenities. Houses in this community are dilapidated with no electricity supply and pipe-borne water, just as most houses lack toilet facilities. Residents have to construct what is known as bacha in order to ease themselves. Among the necessities of life, good roads and water appear to be the greatest challenges of Kadokuchi's residents. An indigene of the community by the name Gloria expressed her pain over easy access to water and good roads.
We don't have water and we don't have road. And where we buy water is far from us. In our various compounds, we don't have water. And our challenge is mostly what we need is water and road.
Amidst the challenges facing the community, Faith, a resident in Kadokuchi, spoke about the cost of accommodation as the high influx of people into the community have made the price of houses expensive.
We suffered payments in our house rent, depending on the house. Some houses are not that good like that, but have higher, but have like 150, depending on the room, but not that for family, just a single room.
Malam Meikasua Madaki Tukura, the Dakachi of Kadokuchi, spoke to Housing TV Africa. He lamented about the neglect of the federal government towards the community.
Kuma yanzu gonakinmu duka an karba ba mu da wurin noma. Yadda nake zama haka tun da safe har zuwa yamma ina zaune haka ba wurin da zan fita nje. To ina ne zan samu abinci? Ba kudi ba aiki.
The poor drainage system in this community is unhealthy. As a resident of the community, Samuel Moses lamented about the construction of drainages while calling on the federal government to do the needful.
Well, what we are lacking now, the street road should be tied and everywhere it should be okay. We are telling government to come and look into this, our street road, so that they will tie the road and they make everywhere to be, there will be a gutter in some of the areas so that the environment will be clean.
His Royal Highness Alhaji Suleiman Dodo, the chief of the Kadokuchi community, spoke to Housing TV Africa. He highlighted the challenges facing the community, and health care is one of them.
Wani zai yi rashin lafiya ba mu da asibiti wanda zamu ce bari mu yi manage a kai shi asibiti nan kusa wanda before a kai na janara ba mu da shi. To kamun ka ce zaka doce mutum ka kai shi asibitin to sai ka ga ya doce lokaci sai ka ga mutum ya Allah ya yi cikawa a hanya saboda rashin asibiti saboda rashin hanya.
As the residents of Kadokuchi have been able to contribute their own quota to the development of the community, they call on the federal government to come to their aid, ensuring that Kadokuchi is provided with good roads, water, healthcare facilities, amongst other basic amenities.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
The city of Abuja, to a lot of people, is a place where the streets are paved with gold, flowing with milk and honey, and gives its dwellers great opportunities to make lots of money, through which they can send back home to their loved ones, showing how well they've been blessed coming to live in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. But for Mercy Ezichi, who hails from Abia State, after much thoughts, she decided to relocate to the FCT in search of a better life with her family 9 years ago. Her story today is far from her dreams and expectations. Mercy and her family found themselves in the Dudumetri Abo district of Abuja, where she now sells vegetables and other foodstuffs to support her husband to take care of the family. Not being able to continue her skills as a hairdresser for lack of funds, or even pursue her dream of becoming a nurse. After having some conversation with Mercy, she decided to take us to her home, where she her husband, and their children live. On arrival at their one-room apartment, we discovered that the room was not well ventilated, as the only window available was not open.
Okay. Open your window and I'm not get light.
The window is not open. If I open it, it will fall down.
What happened to it?
The iron has put off. So we need to wear it.
So you sit here, I'll open the window
On the
on the fan.
There
When
is
there's no
light.
light, like that.
Open the door.
She gives us a tour of her home. Tells us the story.
Here is my kitchen. Here is the toilet.
Even with the sorry state of this environment where Mercy currently stays, she still does not want to lose her home, but pleads with the FCT minister to allow them stay in their houses or make an alternative provisions for them.
I don't have any objection. Let him know that we, the pharmacists, God created us like them. We're supposed to know what to do so that we cannot be sharing tears. I'm not going to fight with it. We're supposed to do something so that we will eat, have a place to stay, and have a place ourselves to be feeding, instead of us crying here and there. You know, because when people are crying by so doing, people will air out bad words in any way they like, in anyhow they like. And I will not like to be one among them that will hear such tears and airing out bad words to him.
For Mercy and many others like her in the FCT, despite their predicaments, all hope is not lost. The future still holds a lot for them, and they are willing to fight to ensure that one day things get better.
So that no, it's not what God has decided for me. Mostly being under the sun, friend. I would like to be in my own house. In my own house that I built. I would like to have it.
Mercy will continue to sell her wares to support her husband and family, hoping and praying that one day her story will change and her dreams becomes a reality.
In Nigeria, there is a pressing issue confronting both urban and rural dwellers alike: which is informal settlements. Informal settlements are residential areas that do not comply with local authority requirements, conventional or formal townships. They are unauthorized and are located upon land that has not been proclaimed for residential use. Informal settlements are often characterized by overcrowding and limited access to basic services. The population living in these conditions continues to grow, posing numerous challenges. Living conditions within informal settlements are marked by inadequate housing, limited access to clean water and sanitation, and unreliable electricity. Families often live in cramped spaces with little privacy or security. The dire living conditions in informal settlements take a toll on the health and education of residents, particularly children.
We are suffering for this place because we'll be having security challenges, having road challenges, and have primary school challenges. We don't have any primary school, and we don't have a regional health care. That's our challenge, but God help us with one of our brother, Mr. Honorable Mia Kalangu. That's the only person help us for this community to do us road. That's achievement we achieve for now for federal government. We need government to, our children are crossing to do say going primary school. All of our schools here is a private. We don't have any standard federal government school in this Mumba community. So we are crying for federal government that they should try and do us primary school. That's our major challenge on this village. I'm a leader of the palace here, and I'm a commander of Vigilante Group of Nigeria. Since we are here, no any help of government. It's unless Mr. Kalongo came in now.
In the advanced countries of the world, like America and other cities, there's what we call conferral of social benefit system. Under the conferral of social benefit system, what the government do majorly is that the government take part of the income of the state, part of the income being given to several states, like being disbursement to several local government chairmen, disbursement to state governors. They take part of it and build something like a city. The city is not just a hotel, but a place where homeless people stay and they are cared for. Those people they have security there, they have pipe-borne water there, and at any time that anybody get a lucrative job, they leave the city and they pull other people, other numbers who have no home, to replace them in the city there.
The government has recognized the urgency of addressing the informal settlement crisis. Various intervention programs and policies have been put in place to uplift the living conditions of those affected. Initiatives include affordable housing schemes, improved access to clean water and sanitation, and upgrading of infrastructure within informal settlements. While progress has been made, challenges persist. Insufficient funding, bureaucratic hurdles, and sheer scale of the issue remain obstacles to comprehensive change.
We have many challenges here, which is government have to intervene. One, sometimes all this insecurity, but as a vigilante commander have said, it's trying, and also the acting chief, village head, they are trying. So we need more help from the government.
We could have a community house in other aspects of the town where these people can find a way, because sometimes it's hard to get the means to pay for the house rent, especially in the capital center. So, but the only way we can do that is when we have affordable housing. Then these people can have a place, or they can have something to live on. So the government has a role to subsidize house for low-income earners.
Informal settlements in Nigeria remain a complex challenge. They are not without hope. As a government, communities and organizations work together, there is a potential for positive change.
we don't have road. And you see, at times, if it is raining, you will see a lot of people will go by the roadside. They'll be thrown dirt on the main road. We also doesn't have toilet. You see a toilet, you still have to 30 tenants, they are using one. You can't leave your door open, go and buy something. Before you will know, Babambola will enter. By the time you will take them to police station, 1 hour is too much. The police people will release them. In fact, we don't know what is happening.
This is the situation with many citizens in not just Nigeria. Are we ready for this conversation? What is the plight of an average Nigerian citizen in regards to housing? Housing is a fundamental human right, and these issues must be addressed.
I would say the incoming president should concentrate on the rural area, understand, for development. Because majorly, if you look at the whole things, understand, holistically, most of the houses in the rural areas, they are nothing to write home about, because most of the houses there are, let me say, slums. But if the government, the incoming government, will concentrate on the rural areas, Nigeria, through there, will develop. Maybe they should do away with all those slums and then build houses that will be affordable.
I want the incoming government should sit down and look into the housing matter. Nigerians are suffering. Look around, you see people sleeping under the bridge, sleeping where they are not supposed to sleep. One, I want the incoming government to, there should be what they call price control. You know, a landlord cannot wake up overnight and put his house the amount of money he or wants it to be. A lot of people cannot sleep in the good places.
If our government, if the president, the coming president, is ready to work, we should be able to see how we can gather all our resources, whether home, abroad, are you getting it? And make sure they get housing, like in 100 hectares of land, where Nigerians, common Nigerians can have housing for 50,000 naira. You're living where water is running, light is there, food is available, everything is available. I think until they do that, if they won't have a better Nigeria.
Okay, the 2020 election is fast approaching, and I would just want to employ whoever becomes or whoever emerges as the next president of Nigeria to really focus on the housing challenges that we have today. You know, we need to begin to develop systems that make housing a bit affordable for our people. You know, and you know, one of the ways you can help to increase the standard of living of people or families is when people have a very good place to live, right? So I think I would just want to employ whoever emerges, whether from Labour Party, PDP, or any party, you know, to please just look at these challenges, you know, just look at how we can be able to curb some of these issues around housing, make it more easy for people.
We have mortgage bank. These are the banks that are supposed to help the masses. But the other way is the answer. A common man cannot walk into a mortgage bank and get a loan to build a house of his own. But the government is not doing anything to support the masses in this case. So the government needs to do something. At least to do that, I'm trying to advise the incoming government to try to work hard to see that the masses are able to access loan through mortgage bank.
I really want the government to bring up policies that can make housing affordable. Probably put up a kind of program that can allow even individuals, self-employed persons, to have access to land to develop at their own pace and probably reduce the cost of building materials and all of that, so that housing can be accessible and affordable to a whole lot of members of the public.
In the area of housing, I want the country to assist the low-incoming workers, like those that are not in ministry, they're not working with ministry, they're not in any big parastatal. They should help them by beating down the price of houses, making it low, at least for a common Nigerian to be able to afford a house.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
But I felt it was important to be here this morning because this is such an important program to do with the issue of housing. I want to commend the organizers. I want to commend also the participants who have been keeping this going now for, I think this is 10th year.
My starting point in this intervention is to acknowledge the tenacity, the vision, and the commitment of FESADEB Communications Limited, the organizers of this event.
This being put together by this organization, the entire affair, I hear as a matter of fact, is the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. And I want to sincerely congratulate you very much on that signal achievement.
FESADEB Communications Limited has taken a pioneer step, which is the most important regarding the challenges that we debate here today.
I believe my presence here with my colleagues is to let you know that the Senate and National Assembly, the member also of the House of Representatives, believe very strongly that we must make a difference in the housing sector.
Water is one essential commodity in every household. Right now we are in Ushafa community, the community that houses the dam that supplies water to all parts of the Federal Capital Territory. But one unfortunate thing is that this community lacks water. The people within the area are complaining bitterly about this situation.
They did the dam for us to enjoy the water. But now, it's other people enjoying the water, not we. We are suffering because of the water. We don't have clean water. We don't even have water.
Well, the water supply, maybe if you have take your time to go to the dam, when it was constructed, it was our father's farmland that was used in constructing this dam, which is the source of water to the whole of FCT presently. Now, the water, we are not that much benefiting or having access to that water compared to like town and places. Even Dusi that is close by here, they are using this water, Kubwa and everywhere. But we here, what they tried to do some time ago was to bring to put some water kiosk, water points kiosks, where they are using. We are still buying anyway. We are still buying from these water kiosks. They were able to mount about, I think, 4 or 3.
It's our place that they construct the dam years ago. So, and this dam is supplying the whole Abuja city. And now here in our village, we don't have water.
Water being a very essential need of every household, and with little or no water supply to this community that lays the golden egg for the Federal Capital Territory, how do they get water for domestic use?
We don't have access of water for house use every time. Until sometimes we buy this borehole water vendors 200, 150 per truck.
We use the little streams that were around us. We go to the stream as early as in the morning. But you know, with the dam somehow drain these waters that are surrounding us.
So we have an alternative, like the boreholes. We have some of the boreholes which we are using, digged by some people that are selling also the water.
You usually go to dam and fetch water from that dam to this place. So before you walk from that place to this place, at least the water will be dirty again.
If you look, this is Merwa. You just turn around and see Merwa. We buy 2 jerrycans, 15 naira, which they used to sell for us. That's where we are getting water.
People are appealing to the government to come to their aid, considering the fact that their community houses the dam and they made the land available for its realization.
They should consider us that this is our forefathers' land. They have to give us a special treat, so that we'll enjoy because there's no way we can acquire this land back for another economic use. But since the government has taken over it, they should consider us to connect this water supply from the source, so that we will not be suffering this shortage of water.
Well, I would want the government to look into that we provide this land for them to construct this dam that people are benefiting. The whole of FCT is benefiting. They should look into it. If they can make water available for us, it will do us a whole lot of good.
I want government to help us and to look into it, to give us water as well as people in the FCT are taking it, so that we can take it also as a clean water.
The Usman Dam has existed for so many years, yet without any benefit to its people. It is imperative that the relevant authorities do everything possible to supply potable or even free water to the community. I am Solomon Rango.
It's quite unfortunate because we look at the whole thing happening concerning housing estate and also so on. It's a collaboration between the government and the people. Because more of it's just a syndicate business, in the sense that the government called the outsiders and gave them the information in their system. People will now go and forge papers. The way to address this problem, one, coming to the streets in the form of giving people allocation. You understand? And any staff one wants to be dealt with. No compromise. Because the big organs normally collect some on their body, say to the field to go and do some work. All this is open room for corruption.
They have to be held, responsible for their action, because it's a deceit, it's fraudulent. You know that something is not real, and you go ahead to do it in order to implicate others. It is criminal. So they have to be held responsible for their action.
Now, talking about the real estate developers, I believe they did not just come there to develop. This is Federal Capital Territory we're talking about. We have development control. From the very first day they mobilized to that site, I think the development control needs to come to that site to confirm if those persons has the right documents, to if they are also doing the right thing that they are supposed to do on that site. So if any house has been built from the foundation level down to the roofing level, I believe those persons have the right allocation from the federal government. So if any agency should come now to tell me that, okay, this house, I did not have the right documents or no right allocation to that particular land, I think the person should tell me how is it coming out with this finding now?
For me, I will blame government, because a place that not supposed to develop, you'll be set task force, be monitoring those places. Anytime you see structure, you let the people know that this place not supposed to be doing anything in that place. But they will allow people, they will sell it, they will advertise sometimes on radio. People may fall on victim. At the end of the day, government will go there and say it's an illegal structure.
When you meet the government, when you hold the government stop giving approval to developers. If you meet the government, without the government, developer will not go to estate development. So the government is the main people. the men behind this. When you stop them, the developer will not go into. They will not go to start developing without giving approval.
The management of the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority, FCDA, this is a high time for them to rise up to this occasion, to put all necessary measures on ground to stop all these fraudulent persons from penetrating even inside the FCDA to secure such fraudulent documents.
They are not supposed to. They are the first culprits. They are the people that they're supposed to hold. How come you get this land? How come this land was approved to you? Who give you the authority to build? When did you clear it there? Well, you go there, you see innocent people who cannot fight them because they have muscle, they have political muscle, they have security at their back. You see them moving out with convoys of police, chains of police everywhere. Innocent poor man cannot fight them there because they have authority that is backing them up. If authority is not backing them up, they are not supposed to be moving inside innocent people's land and claiming it that it's an estate, their own estate there. Why the people you rely on? They are supposed to be the one that will take justice, that will give you justice. The authority government established, FCT administration, under urban and regional plan, under development control, under ages. You rely on them. They will fail you. You're busy going there, coming back. Why the developer are busy developing and you cannot enter there? Somewhere you go there, you see chance of police.
Living in Kaduna State can mean having access to an affordable life. But what does living in Kabala Doki, a neighborhood in Kaduna North local government area, mean? Kabala Doki, a neighborhood in Kaduna State, is not left out in the dictionary term of the word suburb. The population in this neighborhood cannot be questioned, as it has grown to become a busy area because of the market. A street named Lagos Street in Kabala is not so habitable for residents, as the living conditions are not conducive. Even at that, the cost of living in this area has increased drastically. Alhaji Abdul Qadir Jafaru, chief of Yoruba people in Lagos Street, who has been living in the area for many years, expressed his dissatisfaction over the living conditions of the area.
Living condition in Kaduna now is very high. Before, we are renting one single room, 15,000, 20,000. Now, going to 50,000 for a room. So, the living condition now is too high in Kaduna now.
Malam Suleiman narrated the harsh living conditions in Kabala Doki. Speaking with Housing TV Africa, Malam Suleiman said,
To gaskiya kin san Kaduna bariki ce.
he pleads with the government to bring the Nigerian economy back to life.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.